Terror-linked Florida mosque buys $4 Mill Beach property, have disturbing news for its city tried to hide. The state of Florida is known to people around the world as the Sunshine State, where people go for fun in the sand and surf. No one immediately thinks that they need to worry about possible Muslim terrorists running the beaches of South Florida, but this is 2017 where terror attacks are happening on a more consistent basis. Which is why when Muslims from a mosque that has ties to terrorism purchased a property in their sleepy beach town, that people raised an eyebrow. At first, the citizens of Boca Raton were in the dark of what the plans for the property were, but now those plans have been revealed and it is rather disturbing. Over the last several years, radical Muslims have been able to infiltrate our country due to the relaxed border laws under the Obama administration. These Muslims have been able to easily slip in undetected in order to further push their global caliphate. Then these Muslims purchase large amounts of property all around the country under a cloud of suspicion and for good reason. Just recently, a Muslim group purchased a rather large section of property in Pennsylvania that caused citizens to pause. HIRA Educational Services of North America is an Islamic group based in Newark, New Jersey. The group just recently purchased a 145-acre property in Pennsylvania, and for what reason has everyone a bit nervous. The townspeople had questions as to what was the reason for this large purchase and wanted answers. Here is more from Dennis Michael Lynch. At a public meeting Thursday, June 8, Shenango Township supervisors read a letter they wrote to the state's Department of General Services Bureau of Real Estate, expressing their concerns. Bids were required to be arrived at independently and without consultation, communication or agreement with any other contractor, bidder or potential bidder. The letter stated, "The township is concerned with the potential for collusion amongst the bidders in violation of the non-collusion requirements outlined in Section 8 of the Invitation to Bid Instructions, and in the non-collusion affidavit." Mr. Kunwar's role as both independent bidder and CEO of the winning bidder raises questions about whether the non-collusion rules have been violated, Supervisor Frank Augustine said at the meeting. Reportedly, Augustine also noted that HIRA only has 2 employees, no assets and no revenue. Another concern expressed was the fact that the property's original price was $17 million, but then the price was dropped to $3 million, and eventually being sold for a winning bid of only $400,000. Which is why when another purchase was recently made in Boca Raton for 19 acres, people wanted to know what it was being used for, and the response was less than satisfying. Here is more from Palm Beach Post. The Islamic Center of Boca Raton paid $4.9 million for 19 acres along Lyons Road west of Delray Beach, according to property records. The nonprofit has no plans for the land, for now, said Bassem El-Halabi, president of the Islamic Center. "We bought it for future expansion, maybe in 10 years, 15 years, Al-Halabi said. The organization operates a mosque and school on 6.6 acres it owns near Florida Atlantic University. The Islamic Center made headlines last year when Palm Beach County elections officials made it a polling place, then, after protests decided not to collect ballots there. The Islamic Center bought the Lyons Road land from AI Holdings of Boca Raton and took a $3.3 million mortgage from the seller, according to property records. Islam prohibits followers from paying or collecting interest, so Muslim buyers typically don't finance real estate deals with standard mortgages. In this case, the Islamic Center is paying for the land in installments, Al-Halabi said. While many Muslims and immigrant groups have hunkered down since President Donald Trump was elected, Al-Halabi said the Islamic Center is confident enough to make a sizable investment. The Muslim community is part of this community, part of the fabric of this society, Al-Halabi said. We're not going anywhere. Meanwhile, the mosque has been an outspoken critic of terrorism. Terrorism is not a religious identity, rather it is a horrific behavior often justified by misapplied religious dogma, the Islamic Center says on its website. ICBR, Islamic Center of Boca Raton, in accordance to its sole purpose and understanding of Islam, stands firm on the condemnation of all forms and acts of terrorism. The ill acts of a few misguided individuals shall not be viewed as the mainstream of Islam and Muslims. It is rather concerning that they are not revealing what the plans for this huge property are. The people of Boca Raton have a right to know what is happening there, considering there are ties to a terrorist group. If they have nothing to hide, then there is really no reason why they can't share the plans for this building. This property should not be able to be built on until there are clear answers to questions, but the people are going to have to demand that. The only way this will end is when the people begin to take back their states and cities by taking an active role. Until then, this will continue to happen, and if we are not careful, they will take us over for good. Thank you for watching this video. What do you think about this? Share this on Facebook and Twitter along with your comments.